I finally managed to touch up a more travel or beginner-sized acoustic guitar in my collection, and having recently revisited one of my other acoustics with strings from what I thought was a comparable instrument in the Spanish guitar family, I decided to do something similar again, with maybe just a little bit more research this time. We've got strings from the same company for an instrument called the Requinto, a smaller-sized guitar, with sometimes a deeper body though, used in trio romantico music along with two other guitarists. I thought this time around, the smaller stature and style of my remaining acoustic guitar would lend itself pretty well to the Spanish-Mexican style music, at a tuning comparable to some of my other successful soprano guitar projects. Let's see if this installation goes a little bit more smoothly this time. Or you can skip to some spoilers in the demo at this timestamp. This is Kevin from Said Too Much. So despite not having your classical guitar bridge, I'm hoping tying knots in these strings will serve the same purpose as those ball ends required for this particular tailpiece. There's no ball ends on these strings this time either. We've got a classical guitar headstock though, but I don't think it really matters as much as the bridge did. Maybe I did a little bit better on winding these style machine heads though? It's interesting to see how these strings came with numbered beats again, just like the Guitarron Strings did. Other than that, it's mostly just similar to nylon strings for modern acoustic guitar I've used in the past, with the bass half of the strings being a familiar silver-plated wound even. The only really big mod I made was some additional filing of this new nut that kind of already needed it anyway. Things were a lot easier this time around, to say the least. For comparisons here, your Requinto guitar has a scale length between 20 and 21 inches, whereas this smaller scale acoustic has it beat by just 2.5 inches at a 23.5 inch scale length. The biggest concern I had with this project was if the instrument could handle a high tension. Again, I don't really know too much about it, but it was always in an E standard tuning with regular strings sitting in a closet while I was growing up. The Requinto is supposed to be tuned a fourth higher than a guitar at an A standard tuning, but again, adding the longer scale length into the mix, I'm not sure I can comfortably get it to tune that high. So with an E standard tuning, which was a little bit scary tuning up to by itself, we can start from there and see if we can keep creeping up. So what do y'all think? Was it pretty interesting sounding in the higher tuning, or was it all just a little bit underwhelming? If you can forgive my lack of experience in this Spanish-style music, I thought it felt pretty great, even getting up to just that G. Of course, with just a slight capo, I can get it up to A to match baritone guitar, an octave apart, or even that Guitarron project I keep alluding to. I'm not sure if it was the black color per se, but those treble strings felt really smooth and soft to play, especially when compared to just your plain steel strings that can sometimes feel like they're cutting into you. I've heard that maybe the density and heat absorption changes some of their properties compared to clear nylon strings. Let me know if you guys know anything more about it in the comments. It's interesting to think how maybe we could apply everything we know now to those bass, baritone, alto, soprano compositions I've done in the past. Thinking about mariachi or trio romantico combinations as well. Maybe we need to try some acoustic covers? Of course, if any of you know way more about the Requinto than I obviously do, please speak up in the comments. I hope at least I got everyone's curiosity piqued about other stringed instruments out there. And hopefully you conduct your own research on the Requinto. For now though, enough said. For early video access, raw instrument tracks, and more exclusives, find our community on Patreon and consider adding your support.
Said too much.